Brad, there were a lot of big plays down the stretch, but I was wondering what you thought of Avery Bradley's block of Gordon Hayward.
I mean, it was good, and he had been guarding Hood most of the game, and had done a great job on Hood, and you knew they were going to one of those two guys, and just felt like he would be our best bet on Gordon late, because Gordon had tried to drive it a few times there recently at the end, and he made a really good play. He guessed right on his turnaround and blocked the shot and came up with a loose ball, and then Amir came up with a loose ball, and I thought that was really a well-played game by both teams for the most part, and it was a heck of a game. It was a heck of an execution game late. They were making plays. We were making plays, and we were just fortunate enough to get those two loose balls off of the block and then off the free throw to kind of seal it.
I believe you had at least 9 guys with block shots tonight. It was most blocks in over 6 years. I mean, what do you think of the overall rim protection effort?
Really?
Yeah.
Wow. Yeah, if you would have told me we blocked more shots than them, I would have been surprised. I don't know. I mean, I think we were in pretty good position. Obviously, I thought when we were struggling in the first half, I thought Jordan Mickey gave us great time and lift with that group. I thought Tyler did a good job at the rim. We tried to make it as packed in as possible and been more active and into the ball than we were last time. I thought we guarded them, after the first quarter about as well as we've guarded in a few weeks. So that's encouraging, but the blocks were a result of being in the right place and guys making good plays, and that's what Jordan does, but and Amir to an extent, but other guys were in the right place making the right plays.
Brad, you guys, I think were down on the boards 24-9 and came back and made it obviously close, respectable.
Mm-hmm.
What did you guys do in the final 3 quarters on the boards? And then it seemed like a game where the little things, I mean, the scoring was there, but the block, Amir's getting the offensive rebound off the free throw, things that kind of the intangibles.
I don't know that we made as we didn't talk a ton about it. We just made a collective conscious effort to rebound. I think the major change that we had to make after the first quarter was they were just torching us on those pick and rolls with their spacing and the slides down the lane, and our bigs were anxious to get back to the guys going down the lane, and as a result, Shelvin and a couple of other guys got layups or at least floaters because we weren't stopping the ball. So we tried to bring our bigs up higher. Our bigs were really aggressive in pick and roll the rest of the day, which usually actually leads to rebounding worse. But I think just that engagement led us to pursuing balls better.
You guys went small down the stretch. How tough is that decision?
It's really hard in this game because of how good Favors is, and Gobert, just their size. Rebounding is a huge issue. Obviously, they scored quite a few times. We had to foul Gobert on the one play, which was a great effort play by Sully just to get back into it and foul him. And, you're taking your chances, but then on the other end, you're hoping you can space the floor with those guys. And so that was kind of the idea behind keeping, Jay at the 4 in that time, was so that he would be able to space on Favors.
And that worked out really well on his go-ahead 3, right?
Yeah, I mean, that was I thought Favors did a pretty good job, but I thought it was the right read by Isaiah, and Jay made a shot where he had enough room to get a good look, and Jay makes big shots like that.
What are you learning about this team just in the last 5 minutes of games? It just seems that you are making plays.
Well, you're supposed to improve. We're still relatively young, and so they're still relatively young together when you consider a lot of our guys that haven't played as much at the end of games together. And so you're supposed to improve over time. Our guys have gotten better. We've figured out a few things that we like to do late that we don't do as much early. But I think it's, at the end of the day, it's guys have to make plays. I mean, and on both ends. Guys, we're getting better defensively. I think we're, as far as at the end, in the last 2 games. And then offensively, we've executed pretty well.
Brad, it seemed like transition was a big factor in kind of maybe nullifying their size, especially offensively. 25-4 is what you outscored them in fast break points.
Yeah, conversion points off turnovers, long rebounds. I thought we had the one turnover late, and then we just didn't get the ball. It was right there, we did a great job of being active on the ball, and they came up with the loose ball, but that would have been maybe another one. But we have to create some of those against teams with that length because it's too hard to operate in the half court.
You mentioned a couple of Jordan's blocks. What have you seen from him recently that gave you confidence to put him in that spot? And what did you like about the way he played today?
I just thought we needed a boost, and I thought that every time we put him in, he's blocked a shot and came up with some loose balls. I think he's just got to get, he was in Maine for a long time. Then he had the ankle, so he's probably not as up to speed as he needs to be on some things that will get him up to speed on as he continues to be with us more and more. Hey, we're not overly deep at the big spot without Kelly, and so I texted him actually today and said need to be ready to go at any time because it's there could be any time that those guys have to contribute and help us win a game.
Brad, what went through your mind when Mac hit that late three?
We had 46 seconds left. That's the only thing I knew. I mean, he has struggled to shoot it a little bit this year, but I think that's more lack of opportunity and consistent minutes. And I think that as you get opportunity and consistent minutes, you'll shoot it better. He's a big shot maker. He has been for a long time. I smiled a lot when he hit shots like that for 3 years. And so I guess I let him hit one in that big moment here without getting mad at him, especially because Jay answered back. But it's like I said, they made great plays. We made great plays. It was a really good basketball game. Two teams, very tough-minded teams on this given night trying to win this game. Both teams playing very maturely. It was a good game.